information. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feels so right. With diet-free life, the health futures lose by.
Welcome, everybody. This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. In our time together, we're going to talk about an article that I wrote titled Heart Health Starts in Your Cells. Not just in your cholesterol. Heart health starts in your cells. Now, most people are hearing this for the very first time. And trust me, I'm going to prove to you without a doubt that there's something that you can do that can actually help reduce the risk of everything tied to heart disease. That is the #1 killer in the world. The #1 cause of death in the United States of America, Canada, Mexico, everywhere. And since 1912, when they first documented the first heart attack, 12 years later, the American Heart Association gets established. Another 20 plus years goes by. They get funded by a company that played a huge role in why many people have died as a result of heart attack. And that's not my opinion. That is according to what has been published in the CDC, Harvard, Public Health, very clear data, right? And I'm talking about trans fats, so I can't be flagged or being given a hard time because trans fats was proven by Dr. Fred Kumerow that they were causing harm. And when he sued the FDA, which he did, public record, June 18th, 2018, trans fats had been completely removed from all the foods that we were consuming. And if he hadn't have sued the FDA, trans fats would still be in our food right now. And I want you to think about that, right? One man is responsible for getting rid of something that was proven in a court of law to prematurely kill many, 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 many thousands of people each and every year. Now, the first thing I want you to think about is if you didn't know all of that, that speaks volumes because you didn't know it when it was happening. And if it wasn't for Dr. Fred Kumerow, you may still be eating trans fats, which was proven to be a cause for death. I mean, my critical thinkers out there, because that's who I'm reaching. I'm finally getting to a point where I'm moving into acceptance that my audience, as I grow this channel and grow my reach, my audience is critical thinkers. Now, I got to work on how I communicate what is not a critical thinker. Okay. And I don't want to offend anybody. But what I can tell you, even if you don't know if you're a critical thinker, is that if you are someone who wants to be informed, that means you want to be in the know. You don't want to just assume certain things as it pertains to the potential of your health. Then I am your guy. I am someone who is going to speak to you because I'm always going to bring data, and everything that I share on video, through articles, you name it, is substantiated. So if you and I relate, and we get each other. I mean, I could have one person that tunes into me. And if they're a critical thinker and they want the information, they want real information, they actually really care about their health, and they want it backed up and not just assuming, not just taking your doctor's word for whatever they believe, then I'm your guy. And I've helped thousands of people, so there's a whole bunch of people that do want to hear from me, and they trust me, they believe me. So I'm going to start there. I finally realized who my audience is. Okay. Like every podcaster or person who has a YouTube channel, you have to figure out like who are you talking to? Who do you want to reach? Now, I would love to reach everybody, but it's not going to happen. Like I write articles because I read. Not everybody reads. Not everyone wants to know the real truth. The only time most people want to know the real truth, not all, but most, is when they come down with some type of condition, is when their health is compromised, is when they're scared. That's when they want to know the truth. So I guess you could call me maybe more of a preventative guy, even though if you got some problems, I'm there to help you with that. I don't even like the word prevention. I would rather go with like creating health instead of preventing disease. I'm more of a proactive person. Right? I want to be proactive. So we're going to take some time together, and I'm going to walk you through the article that I wrote, and it was inspired by a cardiologist, and I'll tell you all about that. And so I'm going to share it on my screen. I'm going to walk you through it, and if you have any questions, whether you're catching it live or the replay, bring it to me. But again, I know who my audience is. It's people who want to know, people who want to be informed, people who have the ability to apply critical thinking, not people who just want someone to tell them what to do and they don't have to think. So for years, and a lot of the work that I've done, like infomercials, you write a book, you're writing it in a way that you know people don't want to think. I've had people over the years tell me, Robert, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to eat. I don't want to think. And you know, I would always compromise what I know is true and cater to that. But I'm not going to do that anymore. If you want to stay in the dark, then I'm not the guy for you. If you're looking for the truth, if you're a truth seeker, then you should tell people about me. Refer them to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe. I'm a truth seeker. Like a lot of times, if you went to dinner with me and there was a group of people, you'll notice that I'm pretty quiet. Like in big groups, I can be very introverted. And I can also be loud and fun. If I'm with like-minded people, I can be more loud and fun. I can have some fun. I can have a drink. I can laugh, talk crazy. But when I'm around people who aren't critical thinkers or like-minded, I get quiet. And I don't want to say anything to insult anybody. But I will say this. I get quiet because I'm not in a place mentally where I want to either try to convince them that they're wrong and they're totally like missing it. I really don't want to that's just not the kind of people I want to be around. I want to be around people who want to know. Okay. I mean, I didn't know that until today. I really didn't. I didn't know who my audience was going to be. Because I meet a lot of different people. And, you know, it's kind of like I have a certification for people to become a nutritionist with our organization. Now, if you want to learn more about anything I'm talking about, I did provide some links. Like we have courses, we have certifications. But I'm just going to make a point and then we're going to get into what we're going to talk about. But for over 20 years, I have a certification where people can become a nutritionist, a licensed certified nutritionist with our organization that is vetted, that is legit, to educate and coach people on nutrition. And here's where it gets different, with an evidence-based, clinically proven methodology. Now, if I said what I just said and you're like, I don't really get what he's saying, then I am not the person for you. Now, I could become, but if you don't know what I mean by evidence-based and clinically proven methodology, then that would mean nothing to you. So you would be best to go with some other program, go down the street. Good luck. God bless you. And I hope it works out for you. Because wherever you go, they don't have a certification that is framed around an evidence-based, clinically proven methodology. Now, if you're on the fence and you're like, okay, well, I want to understand that better, then okay, I could still be your guy. But if that just goes right over your head and you don't have any interest to want to know more, yeah, go down the street, go to NSAM, Alpha, ACE, go get a certification somewhere else, because they don't have an evidence-based, clinically proven methodology. Now, nurses get me, doctors get me, people who have been in the space for a while, or people who get it, like they're educated, they have a real strong intelligence, meaning they have an ability to learn, then they will get what I'm saying. But if you're a fly-by-night kind of person, maybe have low self-esteem, you're not really sure, you don't know what to do, you're him and ha, then I am definitely, you're not ready for me. My recommendation is you go somewhere else, get like some little certification, and then come to me. I'm so proud of myself that I know exactly who I want to work with. Okay. So that being said, we're going to talk about heart health. Now, I have a few slides for you. Now, this slide, when you look at it, and I'm going to come back to it, what I want you to remember is how red it is in the United States, how red it is in Canada, how red it is in Mexico. North America is red, and that's not good. Then look at Brazil. Look how red it is. Look at India. And you may not know this, but India has one of the highest populations of type 2 diabetes in the world. Same for like the Middle Eastern countries. Like America is not the most obese country. When it comes to women, we're around number 20. That means there's 19 other countries that have women that are more obese. And with men, we're like ranked number 30. That means there's 29 other countries where the men are even more obese. But for some reason, everybody thinks America is we're just worse off. And that's not the case. Okay. Oh my God. So we're going to talk about heart disease, and I'm going to share my screen. So let me share my screen. Share my screen. And as I share my screen, I hope it's wide and big enough that, everybody can see it. Okay, let's see here. All right, so you can see, and if you want to access this article, just go to dietfreelife.com. And the title of the article that I wrote and posted today is Heart Health Starts in Your Cells, Not in Your Cholesterol. Now, as I scroll down, you will see at the very top of the article that you can download and you can print. So you can download and print the article. And what I want to encourage you to do is to download and print it. And if you have heart disease, you have stents, you have concerns with stroke, heart attack, you're taking statins, anyone who has a heart concern, read the article, print it, and when you go see your cardiologist, hand it to them. because this article was inspired by a cardiologist. Asked me to write it. And I wanted to write it. And I've been wanting to write it for a whole bunch of reasons. Like I have a client who I worked with a while back, very nice gentleman who I highly respect. But his confirmation bias and indoctrination of thinking his doctor knows everything has limited him in his ability to see that there's other ways to optimize his health. And so when you write an article like this for someone who is closed off because they think they already know, and they have given everything to their doctor and think that their doctor is doing everything. And I get it, because you trust your doctor. You believe in them. You feel like you're alive because of them. That doesn't mean it can't get better. It's like Michael Jordan's great, but if he gets a certain coach, he may be able to become even better. Same for Wayne Gretzky, same for Celine Dion. No matter what the situation is, you can always be better. And to make this work for a client like this gentleman I'm thinking of, who is closed off and kind of gets in his own way. And if you're catching this, sir, I'm not being mean to you, but you are getting in your own way. It's like you're one of those people. So in order to reach someone like that, you have to stack the deck big time. So that's why when you read and look at my article, right? So I'm just going to scroll down to show you as you read through it. At the very bottom, we substantiate everything that is written, right? And this is a quick read, even though it looks like a lot. And you'll see in the references that are also integrated into the article that everything is substantiated, meaning I'm not just making up and speaking from this guessing. I'm sharing information that is backed up by legit, peer-reviewed, published studies, respected physicians, papers. And in this short article that you can read over a cup of coffee, there's 14 citations. So that means something. If you're a critical thinker and you are someone who wants to be informed, then you get it, right? Like if someone can't read, okay, then obviously that's not someone. I'm not designed for that person. Maybe I'll meet someone and I can help them become the kind of person that can help those people. But I'm spending most of my time sharing information for people who want to understand, right? Because if you have a third grade education and you can read and your comprehension skills are not that good, but you want to be informed, I'm still your guy. But a lot of people don't want to be informed. Okay. So anyway, in the very top of the article, I share with you, if you can read that, why I wrote this article. Like, why did I write it? I wrote it because it goes back to 2002. I was privileged to be in a situation where I was a speaker in Maui. And I had my first book come out. And so they threw me in the celebrity category. And so I was a celebrity. Okay. All right. Right. And Dr. Andrew Wild was he was a celebrity, still a celebrity, someone I totally looked up to. Like, I love Dr. Andrew Wild. He's in his 80s now, one of the most revered, most highly respected physicians living today. So they paired me up with Dr. Andrew Wild, and I meet him and I kind of, put on my, I'm cool. But inside I was just like shots. I was so happy. And so I got to spend 3 days with him. And as we went on this celebrity walk and everybody followed us and we walked and talked and they had a nice little breakfast for us down at the beach. He was talking about the importance of heart health and omega-3s. And he talked about it a lot. And then the entire weekend, he kept talking about it. Like, that was all he talked about, was the importance of omega-3s. I didn't hear him mention balance at the time, but over the years, I heard him start to mention balance. Okay. So we got that. All right. So I'm just going to keep it going. So I talk about that experience, and then I talk about an experience that I had with a bunch of cardiologists, and it was 17. And these 17 cardiologists, I was doing a presentation on my methodology, on nutrition, how we teach people how to eat. When you're a coach with us, you teach people how to eat with our methodology. Again, evidence-based and clinically proven. And they were intrigued. And then they saw what I was monitoring, right? So they're like, okay, well, you're looking at cholesterol, you're looking at body fat percentage, you're looking at waist, you're looking at all these things, but you're also looking at omega-6 to omega-3 balance. I said, yes. And then they started asking me questions. And I share with them why. By the time I was done with that call, all of them ordered this test that we have, that all of you could get this test to find out what your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is. And till this day, and it's been over a year, they all continue to use the product that I recommended, and they use it to get tested, and they've shared it with their family. And the main thing is because it makes sense and it works. So when you read the article, I talk about a test. I provide good data behind that. I talk about my experience with it. I talk about what I'm seeing with other people. I'm watching people reduce inflammation in a huge way. And if you don't know the role of inflammation, which most people don't, which is fine, it's okay. You may be hearing this for the first time, right? If you have IBS, if you have neuropathy, if you have Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, I mean, you name it, if it's a chronic illness, inflammation is playing a role. If you have MS, it's very clear in the physician desk reference that if you can keep the inflammation in your body down, then you reduce your symptoms that you experience with MS. The same as perimenopause and postmenopause. Wherever inflammation is present or it plays any role, the goal is to reduce the inflammation. So as you read through the article, you also get to this place where it says the Global Nutrition and Health Alliance has reported, now this is in 2016, that 98% of people worldwide do not get enough omega-3s. Today it's over 99%. So that means there's a lot of us that are living our life, living in a place where you have low-grade chronic inflammation. We know this because I've seen the tests. You don't even know it. It's funny because I'll go to see a doctor. I have doctor friends, and I'll go do presentations with them and stuff like that. And what's interesting is that as I spend time with them, they will be totally not informed that they have low-grade chronic inflammation. I mean, okay. What is that saying? Can somebody type it up for me? Like when the pot is calling something black or the kettle is calling the pot black. I think maybe that's what it is. I mean, imagine you go to your doctor. You know what I'm sharing with you. And let's say you've been tested and your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is good. You know that your inflammation levels are down. You know that you're in a good place, but they don't. Interesting. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a short video with a doctor, Dr. Sears. And Dr. Sears is going to share with you what he learned when he got colon cancer. So let me find it. And we'll keep going. Boom. Come on, Dr. Sears.
I had colon cancer in 1997.
Let me pause it. Let me bring it back up. Because I want you guys to see this. Okay, this is Dr. Sears. Listen to his story. Here we go.
Crisis to get me to change.
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties, so let me bring it back. So I'm up here with him because I don't want you guys to miss this. Okay, this is Dr. Sears. And like most people, they don't want to improve their health until they're starting to lose their health. And thank you, Sandy. Sandy said his pot is calling the kettle black. Okay, Dr. Sears talking about the importance of cell membrane fluidity and blood flow to organs. And it's a simple fix, which is in the article that I wrote. Simple fix. So I'm going to watch this with you.
Like many doctors, it took a health crisis to get me to change. I had colon cancer in 1997. Mm-hmm. Cancer caused me to change. Mm-hmm. And I realized one thing, one simple sentence: make health my hobby. I had a lot to live for. Lots of kids, lots of grandkids, many on the way. And so I made health my hobby. And that started with nutrition. And when I got into nutrition, the term omega-3s kept popping up. And I started with a very basic principle in medicine, that every organ of your body is only as healthy as each cell in it. So I studied cell health, the cell. And then I looked at the cell and studied it, and the term cell membrane kept coming up. Every cell is only as healthy as a cell membrane. And the cell membrane is both selective and protective. It lets the nutrients through that should come in. It protects it from nutrients that shouldn't come in. And the biggest nutrient in the cell membrane was omega-3s, the flexible fat. So I thought, aha, I've got to learn more about omega-3s. So I went from the cell to the blood flow. The next principle of medicine, I thought, every organ of the body is only as healthy as the blood flow to it. Better blood flow, better organ health. So I studied the blood flow. And that's when it led me to a professor, a doctor over in Norway, Dr. Jorn Darberg, who discovered back in the 70s the relationship between people who eat more omega-3 seafood have better total body health, but mainly blood flow health.
Okay. So let's just imagine that he's 100% right. Because he is. If you read my article, you'll see that I'm 1,000% right. And I'm supported by a whole bunch of very experienced published physicians. So let's say we're all right, because you would have to, for me not to be right, and we're talking heart health, right? Like I know a producer who's on statins. I've told him about this test, and I've shared with him about his omega-3s. He can't hear me. Now, that's partially just complete. Well, he's ignorant because he's unaware. I'm not going to say he's stupid because he doesn't know. But his brain, his thinking is getting in the way of him seeing what is likely, because he's put all his trust in his physician. And then if you talk to him long enough and you bring up omega-3 cell membrane, he'll say, well, I take an omega-3. And then I'll say, well, how do you know if it's working? And then he'll say, well, what do you mean? How do I know if it's working? I say, there's a test and it's really easy and you can find out. And then I lose him. It's like his eyes gloss over and I lose him because it's new information to him. And in his mind, he's thinking, why hasn't my doctor shared this with me? And from a humble place, his doctor, many of them like him, are my clients. I know that your doctor doesn't know. I know your doctor does not know what I'm sharing right now. I know that your doctor is not aware of what I'm sharing with you. That's why if you scroll down and click on the article and print the article and give it to your doctor, and I do recommend those of you who are critical thinkers, those of you who want to be informed, those of you who actually really care, read it before you give it to them. Now, if you read it and you go, I totally disagree. How can you can't disagree because everything is substantiated. All right, let's go to school. All right, let's go to school. And those of you like Sandy who's catching me live, write this down and write it down in a way where you can look at it and memorize it. And then you can go and to really learn it, you can go and fact check it, right? You can go, all right, is he right when he said that? Let's look at history because history will tell you a lot. Now, some of you look great. You're not even concerned about going to bed tonight and not waking up. You assume you're going to wake up tomorrow. You assume, even though you have friends and people that you know, we lost them suddenly. There was no warning. Nobody goes to bed at night expecting to have a blood clot and not waking up the next day. No one that I know. It's always a surprise. So unfortunately, we don't get to talk to them. One of my many of my very dear friends went to bed and didn't wake up. And I know for a fact they had low-grade chronic inflammation. And they were in their 50s, which means I would be willing to bet they would still be here. Like my mom is on the balance oil that I talk about in that article. So someone asked me, like, why is your mom on balance oil? Why would you want your mom to be on balance oil? I mean, could I actually have an answer? My kids are on balance oil. Why would I want my two daughters that I talk about and I've been public about, love my babies? I'm sure you all love your babies. The only one thing that I ask them to do is to take their balance oil. Like, seriously. Like, I don't ask them to, I mean, of course, I would hope they get grades and they do their homework and be respectful. And they're both respectful kids. And I'm thankful. Neither one of them do drugs. I'm so thankful for that. God, trust me, I'm just thankful that it worked out that way. I mean, who knows what can happen tomorrow, but right now that they're not doing drugs. But I asked both of them to take your balance oil. You can go eat KFC. You can go to McDonald's. You can do whatever you want. If you want a soda here and there, God bless you. I'll buy you a soda. But take your balance oil. Because I know what's coming. I'm seeing it. Now, there's some crying parents that aren't on Facebook. They're not on YouTube, and they've lost their kids recently. But when you know, and there's a biblical scripture that's coming to mind. Oprah used to say it and share it all the time. Something about for who much is given, much is responsible. There's like, I usually know these things, but it's slipping. And when people hear that, they often think about wealth. They think about big homes, fame. I also believe it's a big part of knowledge. So I happen to be in this space where I know a lot about what I'm sharing with you. And you may be a truck driver, you may be a school teacher, and I'm not a truck driver. If I got in a truck with you and you drove a truck, I would be open book, like learning, like, whoa, wow, I never knew. Who knew? If I went to you with you and you were a 5th grade school teacher, and I'm like, wow, who knew? If you were a welder, I'd be like, oh my God, wow, who knew? Well, in the space of nutrition and health, if you hung out with me all day, you would be like, oh, wow, who knew? Okay. Now, the difference between all of that is that you don't have to go be a welder today. You don't have to go teach a 4th grader. You don't have to drive a big old giant truck, but you are going to eat. And what you eat, how you eat, and all that is connected to that plays a role on what your health is going to be like. So in my expertise, in my field, everything that I know and teach is relative to everybody, unless they just don't care about their health. If you don't care about your health, then again, they wouldn't be watching me or listening to me talk. If you do care, then you're like, okay, man, I'm glad Robert's on top of it. And that's what I hear from my clients all the time. People who used to be my client, some of them, they watch me or they kind of watch from a distance. But I watch their health constantly fail because they're out of the loop. They don't have to be my client to be in the loop. I do free talks like this all the time. But I watch you guys, and some of them are watching right now, and you've gained your weight back and then some. Some of you is your ego that blocks you from asking for help because that's just who you are. God bless you, and one day you'll get humble and do something about it. But not everybody's humble. Oftentimes people walk around like on edge. And then those are the people, especially those over 50. You go on Facebook and you see RIP. And everybody's like, oh my God. Oh no. So what I'm talking about, you guys, is real. Okay. What we are talking about, let me bring up this map. This is real. This is 2016 and is worse today. We are walking around in flames. That's not good. So what are we going to do about it? Well, there's a lot of things we can do about it. We can do something about it. Okay. You can get tested. If you're watching me and you don't get tested, you're not my audience. Right? My audience, one more time, and I said this earlier, are people who want to be informed, people who have critical thinking, people who are looking for answers, and they do want to prevent things that could be prevented. That is my audience. And for those of you who are part of my audience, I thank you. And I will continue to always dive deep, and I will continue to work really hard to make sure that I'm bringing you the best information I possibly can. And then to help you, if I can, get on course and stay on course. And I know that you are the kind of person that you would want to help other people. And it's nice to know that someone's done the work and you can still check my work as you share with other people and pay it forward. I'm proud to be a part of that kind of network. So I'm all in. You got my attention, and I hope I got yours. And right now, as I conclude, as I was about to go down a rabbit hole, I'm not going to go too deep in it. How do we get to this where we're so inflamed? And many of you are like, read the article that I wrote. Just look down in the description. The article is there. It's about heart health. If you do what is necessary to reduce the risk of all the things that tie into heart health, you will help everything else. And one of the key things is getting that inflammation down. Getting it down. And the test is going to help you identify where you are with your inflammation, and you can improve it. Like I see Sandy is on here, and I thank you, Sandy. I'm glad you catch me live. When we first tested Sandy, her numbers weren't great. They weren't what she wanted to see. She had inflammation. But let's fast forward. Sandy's in the green now. And Bonnie, I'm glad you caught me, Bonnie. Bonnie is one of those people who she is looking for the truth. Same as Sandy. Same as Anna, who's caught me live. And good to see you on here, Anna. That's probably what brought them to me. And I just happen to be in a space where I'm providing something that is part of what they're looking for. They're looking for the truth. And they are critical thinkers. They can actually look at the data, look at it, think it through, and know if I'm talking crazy or not. And so I go the extra mile when I write an article to make sure I substantiate it, meaning provide the references, the citations that they can go look up if they want on their own. People have done the work. That's what's beautiful about the world that we live in. We have published papers. There's over 30,000 published papers on the benefits of omega-3s. There's over 40,000 published papers in PubMed.com on the benefits of polyphenols. That's 70,000 published papers, peer-reviewed, meaning someone didn't just write it and put it up. It had to be reviewed by like-minded, evenly skilled, and educated people with credibility before it got published. And then what they publish, they substantiate, and there's other data that supports how they came to that conclusion or how they got to the place where they could provide what they're providing. But not everybody is going to spend time reading through all that stuff. You got to go to work. You got to pay your bills. So in that space, nutrition and health, you need somebody like me, and others that are not just going to just be out there just selling a lie. Well, that's not true. There's a whole bunch of people selling a lie because they take advantage and prey on people who are uninformed. Like I used to tell my clients, I said, okay, so let's say you're going to get a new product. You see some infomercial, right? And that infomercial sounds really good. And I'm thinking of like, there's a product, it may still be out there. I think it's called Golo. And Golo, they talk about insulin resistance. It sounds fascinating. And I go, okay, so if I was sitting with you and we were watching TV and that commercial came on, would you just buy that? Or would you say, hey, Robert, what do you think? And would we have a conversation about it? Most people would say, hey, Robert, what do you think? And then you and I would talk about it. And through us talking about it, I would help you reason it, and you would not buy that crazy ass product. There's no way. Because it doesn't even make sense. But when you're by yourself and it's late at night and you're feeling like vulnerable and you're like, oh, I hate how I feel. Oh, I feel bloated. Oh, I feel my stomach. Man, I got to lose this weight. And you see this commercial, you're flipping, you go, oh. And trust me, I know the benefit of that because I had the #1 infomercial on TV. And yes, what I was sharing, I felt was legit. It was substantiated. But still, you're catching people late at night. They're feeling a little vulnerable. They want to lose some weight. They're bloated, and they're like, this looks like I can buy it. Boom, and they buy it. My thing was, let's give them the sizzle, but once we get them in, we're going to share with them the truth. And that's what I did. I taught people how to eat, and I continue to teach people how to eat. All right. Any questions, you guys, for me on what we've been talking about? Any? And maybe you guys even have a question for people who couldn't be here live. Because people, they're working. I'm going live in the middle of the day. Some people are driving home. They're not on Facebook or YouTube. They have no clue that this information is being made available. And a lot of times people will see me and they'll just scroll right by it because they're not interested in better health. Now, they will be when they're starting to lose it. But sometimes when you're starting to lose your health, you go into survival mode. Then it's like panic mode, and you don't have time to reason. So you catch people based on where they are, right? So again, my thing is, hey, where are the critical thinkers? Where are the people looking for the truth? Where are the people who aren't caught up in what's trending? Because there's a lot of things trending and people just start buying supplements just to buy them. I'm boring, I guess, because I'm all about the truth. And the truth will set you free. Not everybody wants the truth. They don't. I'll talk to people and they got weight to lose and they'll never ask me for help because they're not looking for the truth. Ego blocks a lot of people. I'm telling you what I know. I've done this for 30 consistent years. I wasn't a realtor part-time and did nutrition. I wasn't a personal trainer doing nutrition. I wasn't like something. This is all I've done. Nothing else. With a really nice pedigree. So the people that I relate to best are people looking for the truth. When I have a husband tell his wife, hey, I think you should work with Robert Ferguson. He's a nutritionist. I think he has a program that could probably help you. That's a humble man. That's a secure man. And vice versa. I've had many women go to their husbands, hey, you know what? He's worked with athletes. And they sell it because, guys don't want to like work with that's not what most guys want. Most guys feel like we can figure it out and just do it. The men that I attract are some humble dudes. And they may be encouraged, but when I meet them, I always compliment them because most men they don't go to the doctor. They don't do what is necessary. Now, when it comes to heart disease, men will survive more than a woman will survive. But anyway. All right, you guys, I'm about to close out. I'm hoping, is there any questions? So let me see. Mooney Watts. I am in the green and I still have inflammation. Okay. So I think I know what you're saying. So we'll talk about it because I believe this is one of my clients. Because when you get your results, you could be in the green in certain areas. But if you're out of balance with certain fatty acids, then that's inflammation. Now, the good news is this is what I do. The good news for her is that I'm going to give her clear direction on what to do. And then we'll correct it. That's a win-win. All right. Anyway, this was fun. I hope you got something out of it. Remember, the link to the article is provided. Read the article, print it out, take it to your cardiologist. Even if you don't need the cardiologist confirmation, give it to the cardiologist so they can read it. And every once in a while, I'll get contacted by email by one of these doctors. Hey, that was really a good article. Hey, I'm interested to learn more. Hey, do you have 20 minutes to get on the Zoom and talk? I've done that many times because of you guys sharing things that I make available with your physicians. And then I get a new friend. I mean, tomorrow we got a new physician coming on board to work with us because someone shared an article. It's a family physician and they are intrigued. This was all new. They didn't know any of what I'm sharing in that article about a test, about a product called Balance Oil. They had no clue. And now they're like, okay, I want to be involved. I want to be involved. So we are building a team of people who actually care, a solid team. And I'm not caught up in, I've worked with celebrities. I'm not caught up in, none of that means I've already done all of that. Done it all. Like there's no celebrity alive that would make it like, oh, this is, I literally have worked with, I've done all those things that a lot of personal trainers, nutritionists dream that one day they're going to be able to work with pro teams. I'm going to have a certain celebrity and I'm going to walk the red car. I've done all of that. I'm into taking care of business right now and the business of helping people. So I relate to people who are in it for the right reasons. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox because I got a seminar to do with Miss Amy Prine today. And we're going to be helping people with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. High blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. Now, with 50% of people who will watch this video, the replay or the live, right? So out of 10 people watching, 5 have high blood pressure. Now, some of those people go, well, I don't have high blood pressure because they're on the medication. If you're on the medication, that's the same as high blood pressure. The reason why you don't have high blood pressure is because you're on the medication. So that's one and the same. Because if the high blood pressure doesn't get you, you'll save time. The medication will. It'll put you on dialysis. Go look up the data on DaVita and all these fastly growing dialysis centers all over the country. You go to Maryland, you drive down the road in certain neighborhoods, you see a church, liquor store, dialysis center, DaVita. Church, liquor store, dialysis center. And some people are watching me that are on dialysis. And some of you who are watching me, I used to coach and you didn't make changes and you're on dialysis. And that's not being mean. That's just the truth. Because I talk to people all the time. I just talked to someone 2 days ago. I was coaching them 3 years ago. They decided, well, you know, I think I got, I said, no, I think you should keep working with it. I think we made a lot of progress. I think it's best if we just keep working together. I'm making it affordable for you. No, you know, I got it, Robert. You know, I got it. They're on dialysis. This guy I'm talking about is on dialysis 3 days a week now. He will never get off dialysis. His last remaining years, his low quality of life is chained to dialysis a minimum of 3 days a week. No trips on a plane, no long going here and having a great old time. Dialysis. He's tired after dialysis. He's frustrated before he goes. The quality of life is horrible, and nobody talks about it. I don't know about you, but I would read that article that I wrote. You don't want to be that person. All right, you guys. So, Oh man, I just have so much fun with some of these songs. and I'm having fun, but I'm sad on the inside. So remember, the focus of our talk today was health starts in your cells. I mean, I think I should win a prize with. I mean, I love this article that I made available today. It gives people newfound hope. And as I mentioned earlier, I said, I asked a question. No one came back and asked me, but my mom got the test and she takes the balance oil because I love my mom. I love her. Like one of my clients who I'm working with, Lynn, who's now one of our partners, she loves her father. She invited him to one of our talks, and he's got a condition that he's working on. And I looked up that condition and was kind of familiar with it. And I knew that it was fueled by inflammation. And she ended up getting him on the phone call with me. I got the meeting. But she did that not to make $4. She did that because she loves her father. My daughters, they take balance oil because I'm kind of forcing them a little bit. But they know I love them. And it'd be interesting in the next 10, 15, 20 years to see what their health is like on balance oil compared to some of these young kids that's their age. What's going to happen with them? With their health? We'll see. I mean, I don't understand some of you parents. I really don't. I know we can't force kids to do a lot of things. And some of you younger parents in your 30s, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I feel sorry for a lot of you because you're taking things for granted. And I guess I just know. Maybe if you knew what I knew, you would do things a little different. So I get that. So I have empathy and compassion for you. But again, my audience is people who want to know, people who have critical thinking, people who are looking for the truth from a preventative, proactive point or position. Yeah. Amen. All right, you guys. This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. Make sure you subscribe. If you have not gone to the YouTube channel, make sure you go to the YouTube channel because we could use the likes and the comments and the subscriptions so that we will one day get past the restrictions that we experienced during the pandemic and be able to start reaching the masses, because I know our content is great. It's just a matter of getting past these restrictions that we're faced with. So the only way we can get past that is as I get more people to like and subscribe. And I'll just keep bringing the data to you, the information to you, with the goal of helping you. And if we're here to help each other today, it's a win-win. All right. I got to go. Peace out, everybody.
No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right.